long time. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we are live now, guys, and on Facebook and I believe on YouTube. All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
A couple people popping on board. Guys, as you come on board, don't be shy. Give us a shout out in the chat box.
For sure. Tell us how the weather's in your area. I see Cozy got through that hurricane.
Yeah, it was just like one of those like, oh wait, there's a hurricane coming.
What? Yeah. How have you been, Chris? And you got through the hurricane weather down there in Mexico as well, huh?
Yeah, so yeah, I hit the Pacific, so just a little rain and a little reprieve from the heat for like 2 days. It was awesome. So
wow.
A little more made it fun, but yeah, nothing terrible, which is good.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I think we're getting that hurricane weather finally here. It's been hot and dry and smoky from the fires and now pouring today. So just the craziest weather.
You guys got the fires going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of fires on the West Coast. So all that smoke is coming down here in Colorado. And yesterday you couldn't see it half mile, believe it or not. And there's no local fires. It's all coming from the West Coast. Unbelievable. Look at some people coming on. All right.
All right. Ashley, I see you. Ashley, you got Mick Ultra tonight or iced tea? What you got tonight?
Oh, yeah. Ashley? Oh.
All right.
Good.
A couple people on board.
Yeah, as they come on, welcome everybody. Welcome seeing you. Cozy, I'm excited for your show tomorrow night. I'm really interested.
It'll be good. It'll be good. We got a surgeon coming on board to talk about TMR surgery, so that'll be good.
Yeah. I watched that yesterday. I think you put it up, and a pretty interesting topic. So I think that'll be great.
Ashley, ginger ale. That's a change from your usual, Ashley. Hey, Sophia, glad you could join us. Has anybody been watching the NBC coverage on the Paralympics, on the trials? Did anybody watch that? Am I the only one? Craig.
No, I know. I can't. I don't get the NBC stuff. I'm following on the web a little bit, and I need to get a little bit more. It's just I can't get too excited yet. There's so many great athletes contending to be there, and it's going to be great.
Yeah,
so it's going to be. You know what? I'm excited to see all the technologies and how these records are going to be broke. That's the discussion I've been seeing and people talking about. The sockets, better alignment. That's going to be the most interesting thing. Oh, the thunder is rumbling right here.
Got it. Well, actually, for those of you,
I'm with Ashley. I don't have cable either. Love. I don't have cable.
We got rid of our cable, but there's two, like the Peacock on, you know how you go to Netflix and stuff like that. There's Peacock, which is the NBC channel. And then also on your app, you can download it. Cause I was at my kid's swim practice, and one of the girls I knew was doing her swimming trials. So you can download the Peacock app and watch it from there.
Wow.
So I was like, there's never really been a whole lot of television coverage on Paralympics. So I was excited.
That's right. You know, it's interesting with my experience in Paralympics in Europe, because I was a winter sport guy, it was huge over there. They would have live TV crews from every country, and the Air Force come over every event and give air shows, and the participation with the population of wherever we were, Sweden or Switzerland or whatever, was huge. It was just so it's really cool to see our country coming on finally to follow these amazing athletes. So,
So we got
awesome.
Liz in Fresno, so you're still over 100. Phew, smoke from fires near Yosemite making the air bad. Iced tea here. Oh my gosh, Liz.
Oh yeah, there it's bad here. Edie in Seattle. Glenda, hello. Yep.
And Glenda, oh, there's Glenda. All right, glad you can make it in Seattle with 80 degrees. There we go. Thank you, Paul, for posting that.
Yeah.
So guys, just so you know, we are streaming to Facebook and YouTube, having a little bit of technical difficulty with Facebook, but hopefully that is cleared out pretty soon. So if you are wanting to join in on those different channels, or if you want to send a message to somebody who wasn't necessarily able to register for the Zoom meeting, they can join us on those platforms.
Good. For sure.
That was my PSA.
Good.
I so appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. So I'm going to kick it off. My name is Chris Urbach with VitalFit. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this evening for a Q&A session for the month of July. Before I introduce our awesome facilitators, couple notes. We're going to obsess on the chat. So please put all your questions in the chat, and Paul and Jamie are going to help facilitate my email address because we've got 3 great giveaways this evening. And so please take a shot of that or whatnot. And so tonight, Cozy Vioso is, she has her master's in physical therapy, and she's been in practice for almost 17 years. I'm going to like go this way. So 16 to 17, because she's getting younger. So roughly 17 years she's been practicing. And I mean, God love her. So everything limb loss, that's what she specializes in. And that practice is in Florida. And she's got an awesome Facebook show every Wednesday night, Cozy Talks, 8:30. Okay, we're recording. Sorry, 8:30. I'm like a squirrel, like literally, like it takes nothing to throw me off. Anyhow, so again, yes, thanks, Cozy, for being with us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. And also Greg Menino, who is a 22-time medalist in the Olympics and Paralympics in downhill alpine skiing. He's also a certified practitioner, as well as an above the knee amputee. So on that note, welcome. Let's do it.
All right, guys. So tonight it's open season on the PT and the prosthetist. So basically ask us your questions. I know we got a couple here that were sent in. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Greg, you want to start with one, or you want me to get one?
Sure. You want to tee it off? You're always the best at teeing it off. You kind of set the mode and the mood for me, so I'm like, well, I'll let you take it, and then see if I can ad lib on the question. So.
All right. So this one question that came in, and it said, in February, I had some setbacks. I noticed my amputee leg had some skin breakdown. I have been in wound care, and it turns out to be 3 pressure wounds coming from fluids. Thank goodness things are healing, and I was told once I have the green light, I can resume using my prosthesis after a week. And I'm almost done with the process, but the skin is not very thick. And for the past 4 years, never had any skin breaking down issues, and I'm concerned about returning to walking because the skin is still very thin in that area. Not really sure if this is wise. Not a whole lot of feedback from this person's wound care team. So, a couple of things when it comes to these wounds, especially for this particular gentleman, his wounds were caused from the inside out. So he had fluid overload. So what happens is in his limb, he was getting fluid overload. We call that edema, right? So all the pressure being caused by the edema was impacting his circulation. So he started getting probably internal wound that then kind of just erupted to the surface. And that can happen sometimes. And those can be kind of dangerous because they tend to be deeper and they require a lot more care. So in this case, he had to go to official wound care, get a wound vac to close everything up. And yes, the skin, it takes quite a bit of time for that skin to remodel itself. And in some cases, depending on how deep that wound is, that skin and scar tissue may never be as strong as the surrounding skin. So what do? Usually with patients like this, I treat them the way I treat my beginner patients. I put them on a wearing schedule. So basically that means is just putting, depending on the person, they might do 5 minutes 3 times a day of wearing their leg. Or if they have a little bit stronger skin, maybe 10, 15 minutes 3 times a day. And teaching folks how to examine that skin. If that new skin starts getting bright, angry red and it doesn't go away, then it's time to take the leg off and let that skin rest. If the skin is just a little pink and it starts to resolve itself, then you know that you can keep wearing the leg a little bit more. And this is where my favorite product, here it is, my favorite product comes into play. So when I have somebody who has these hot spots, if they have a blister that's healing, if they've had a big wound that is now completely closed, it has to be closed, putting a little bit of the liquid to powder on these wounds, or the healed skin, okay, to help prevent that friction and shearing, okay, also goes a long way. So Greg, your turn.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because, and you're spot on. I think if you've had one of these type of bursa, or even if it's as simple as a callus and that breaks, depending on what you've done or what's happened, that skin friction can be, when you're healed and you're getting back in the prostheses, that friction can open you up really quick. So I guess my biggest thing is trying to make people patient on your wearing schedule. Don't push it. You know, that skin is the integrity. And I can speak from experience. I had this happen to me in January and I'm like ready to go. You know, I'm not that good at sitting on the couch or not wearing the prostheses. And that setback can even be more dramatic. So again, listen to your body is one of the biggest things I try to talk to the patients that I work with is listen, if it's irritated, if you're chafing that healed area and it's starting to break down again, it's time to back off, use some type of anti-friction liquid to powder, or just be really aware of that Indian burn, I hate to use that comment, sensation that could be really irritating or opening that wound back up. I had a patient, bilateral AK friend of mine. She had the same thing in January happen to her, and they put a wound vac in hers. My personal thing, they wouldn't do that to me. They just wanted to leave the wound open to close from the inside out. And you pack it every day and put in, you know, collagen powder and those things. So having your wound care team, you know, engaged and really wanting to see you get back on your prostheses quicker is so important. And if, you know, in my personal experience, because I've been an amputee 41 years and I've never had it happen to me till 6 months ago, basically. So, but they were engaged, you know, my surgeon was like, hey, you got to calm down, slow down. And I kept going back, hey, you need to stitch this up. I want this closed. I want, you know, thank God he didn't, but it was hard to listen to the process, listen to surgeon, listen to the PT, but that's the biggest, most benefit to really just kind of step back and then pay attention and keeping that friction at that area to a minimum. And it may require a new socket, a liner, new fitting, because your residual limb changes dramatically if you're out of that prosthesis 3 months, let's just say, if that's the number, or 10 months or whatever that is. It's just something you really want to think about and pay attention to, I guess, is speaking from experience, because I never, you know, I speak the gospel to get the prosthetist to listen, right? Or the prosthetist patient, whatever you want to call me. So.
No, and then one thing stuck out, Greg, that you said, you know, the 41 years as an amputee, this is the first big, you know, skin issue. And that's interesting, you know, because some people say, well, I have great skin, I've never had breakdown. And my saying is, well, at some point in your life as an amputee, you're going to have a fall and you're going to have some sort of breakdown, whether it's a blister, whether it's a cut, whether it's chafing, whether it's something at some point in your life. So it's good to know how it is that you deal with this.
Right. Well, I think that's a good point. And this is how I found Chris and VitalFit. It was, you know, I've been a pretty high level user of a prosthesis, and I had a callus that would never be smooth. It was always like, you know, angry and just like ischial area because I'm active, and the VitalFit's products calmed it down. I don't have this problem that I had for 30 plus years. I hate beating it. It seems like yesterday, but so just like you're saying, throughout your life with an amputation, you're going to experience these things. And it's just, you know, if your prosthetist is the best guy in the world, you know, it's a two-edged sword, I think, because you get to do more, but that impacts your skin. So again, it's how I found VitalFit, talking with Chris and Skip. It was like, listen, I'm active, and so many people I know, they're doing so much more, but their skin's impacted, even with perfect fits or vacuum or TPE or silicone liners. There's so much cool stuff. And like we were talking about coming up with the Paralympics here, there's so much cool technology. But again, if your skin integrity is not great, or it's being impacted by your activity, this is where VitalFit's so important. So, okay, what do you think?
Sounds good.
Shut up. I'll shut up. So, but it's so important, you guys. I mean, that's where I'm going with that, to really think about it and intervene and taking care of your skin. So
absolutely. All right, guys, we got another question here. It says, my liners are silicone. Why do I get a burning sensation after a couple of hours of use? I'm new to wearing a prosthetic and above the knee amputee. Thoughts on that, or you want me to?
Well, let's both talk about that. I think it could be if it's a newer amputee that's a newer user and not used to that constriction of a liner or that contact, it could be a little of that. It could be hygiene of the liner. It could be that liner is a little too tight. It could be that liner's a little too loose. There's a bunch of different things that can make this burning sensation. I think a lot of the people I've engaged with, when they feel that burning sensation, a lot of times that's some kind of micro tearing, friction, bacteria is what I've seen more than being constricted too much in a tight liner or a loose liner. So again, if your liner is loose, you're going to be swimming around in that liner a little bit, creating more friction points. So I think there's a lot of different answers there. What's your take on it, Cozy?
You hit the main points that I would normally hit, and then just less often that happens. Someone might be having a hypersensitivity. So maybe some sort of a little allergy to the silicone. And again, not terribly common, and silicone is used because people typically don't have a reaction to it. But that does happen on occasion. And that's something that a dermatologist can also help you figure out. Is this a contact dermatitis that you're experiencing, and some sort of allergic reaction? And the second thing, again, not as common, but if it is too tight on you and you're compressing a nerve somewhere, nerve pain can also present as a burning pain, like internal, but it's more internal burning pain. Not as common. Usually it's the causes that Greg said, but that's another thing to kind of just throw out there as well.
Well, I think you brought up a great point right there, Cozy, because if you've lost some volume throughout the day, being dehydrated in these hot summer days, you can actually have a little more distal contact. That right there can, fire up your nerves if you've got any neuromas present. And so good point. I would have probably just overthought, looked that, but that's another burning sensation. But if you physically took the liner off and you see your skin's red and it's inflamed, then, that's, I guess, a better result that we can intervene on quicker than neuroma pain or nerve pain that's deeper in the limb. So good point. I love that.
All right. And then, okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to make sure I get to everything here. All right. So looking back at one of the other questions that came in. Oh, this one's yours, Greg. I'm giving this one to you.
Okay. Which one are you looking at?
It says, I had a vacuum type liner that would not hold the socket sometimes. It would get loose at the most inopportune times, like walking to the car from the store, having the leg almost fall off. We had to switch sockets. Now I have a slot in the bottom of the socket that Velcro goes through. Okay, so like a lanyard. And the socket stays on by pulling Velcro through the slot, locking Velcro. It works, holds fantastic, never gets loose. Have you found this Velcro type allows the socket to stay on better than the vacuum type?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I don't know. I've been a little boisterous about VAC in the last year doing these webcasts with you. So I think the answer to the question, and here I think the input is it's working better with the lanyard system for this patient. I think lanyards work great. The KISS system, when it first came out, everybody's like, "Wow, that's pretty neat." I'm all about keep it super simple. And I loved when KISS came out with that lanyard, calling it, that, because the less parts that could go wrong or fail, or you pinch a hose or your battery goes dead or something gets caught in a valve, that, and spot on with this question is at the most inopportune time, things like happen. And if you're 5 miles away from the truck hiking, it really creates big issues, or in the mall. And for me, it's always, those are when I break things for no reason. So I think the lanyards are great. I think if your leg's secure and it's working, that's great. I know a lot of patients that use vacuum and have 100% success and love it. So it's just, I think a little, the less parts, the better, is how I think as a prosthetist and a user of prosthetic stuff. That way you don't have these, embarrassing moments. I mean, when and just off topic a little bit, when they used to have foot bolts that held prosthetic feet on, you don't see foot bolts anymore. But I broke more foot bolts in my life 3, 5, 10 miles from the truck and walking out on a pylon with a foot in the backpack. It just goes to show you, prosthetic manufacturers today, there's no foot bolts out there really anymore, unless you're using a Satch fit or something like that. So they've addressed the issue with failure, but again, vacuum systems have gotten better and better too. So I guess that's a really long answer from a prosthetist who likes a lanyard better than a vacuum.
No, and I agree with you. For me, it's just, there's so many moving parts when you are a new prosthetic user that you want, for me, I think keeping it as simple as possible, especially in the beginning, because if something is going wrong, you want to have the least amount of variables in the equation to figure out what it is that's causing the problem, right? So, when patients come and ask me about an elevated vacuum system, number one, I run it through and say, okay, what do you think the elevated vacuum is going to give you that you don't have right now? And then understanding that the more technology you add to your prosthesis, that is, like Greg has said, more moving parts and more things that you have to keep track of. Now, that being said, the people who are candidates, true candidates for the elevated vacuum, they love it. They love the feel. They feel more connected with the socket. Their volume stays a little bit more stable throughout the day. And that's wonderful. But on the other side of it, if the person is not a candidate and they just really, really wanted the vacuum system, there's a lot of problems that can come from that. And, like you said, Greg, when you're out in the middle of nowhere, if you're doing hiking, if you're doing a lot of these things, and again, you got to prepare for all of these things. The same thing when people get the microprocessor knee. Microprocessor knee is an amazing invention, amazing technology, but it's more moving parts, more upkeep, more things that you have to be aware of and be responsible for.
Absolutely. So can I share a little story on that comment? Okay, so last week, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Sorry. All right, so folks, please take a look at the chat box. You'll see a link, and that's going to take you to our blogs. And please type in the first blog that you see, and that individual will be picked for a travel kit.
Okay.
Okay, go.
While we're waiting for that, I'm going to pick up Liz's question. She says, am I a member of the APTA? They just developed a new non-member, non-PT position. I was asked to put my application in, hoping for greater emphasis on persons with limb loss or differences and greater interactions, guidelines, input. So yes, guys, and this is what I love. I love getting questions also from clinicians because this helps you guys understand what's going on behind the curtain in clinical world. So we have what's called the APTA, the American Physical Therapy Association. It's like the AMA for PTs or AAOP, so we have our own organization. And it's divided up into a bunch of specialties, all the subsections. So you have a specialty for orthopedics, pediatrics, oncology, infectious disease. And as a specialist in physical therapy, you join that subsection. Guess what we don't have the section for? Is amputees, which is completely ironic because the history of my own profession came from working with amputees in the World War I. That's how the whole profession of physical therapy came about. So Liz, there is a small movement of a physical therapist that they are petitioning to have a section for limb loss to join the APTA. So that is there. I am not as involved with the APTA in an official capacity as I would very much like to be, just because I have a lot of irons in the fire right now, but it is something that I do kind of keep an eye on the side. I would say go for it, Liz. We need a voice in that in our professional organization to be able to serve this community better.
Awesome.
So,
and congratulations, Liz. Thank you for your answer. Absolutely. Hikers is the first blog. So, Liz, I know how to find you. I think we're good, but thanks.
There we go. All right. We got some good questions that came in.
Yeah.
Ooh, here's one. Okay. I get this one a lot, and this is a good one to talk about. Can you use the day moisturizer and the liquid to powder at the same time, or should I only use one or the other?
Who's answering, Chris?
Right. He's like rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, absolutely. You can absolutely use both. So the nice thing about the products are they go a long way. So like a dime size of the day moisturizer, antifungal, antibacterial, moisturizing, go ahead and put that on a residual limb, wait for it to dry. And then the liquid to powder has an added benefit. Again, antimicrobial, bacterial, fungal, but it's also got this anti-shear and friction, as well as the ability to reduce perspiration. So day first, and then a little bit of liquid powder over it.
Yep. And guys, when I send this out to my patients, especially those that are having problems with their skin, usually I will tell them to use all 4 products for 2 weeks, basically just to let their skin get used to the system and kind of find that balance. And after 2 weeks, because I do live in hot, sticky Florida, if my patients still come back saying, you know what, it's just a little too sweaty or just a little too slick, I might say, okay, for summertime, maybe we won't use the daytime moisturizer, just use the liquid to powder, see how your skin reacts. And then at night, make sure you put on that nighttime moisturizer to get all those nutrients in. And then in the cooler months, maybe add that in. But again, everybody's skin reacts a little differently. So, look at what your skin looks like after a couple of weeks of using the product consistently to fine tune it.
Yeah, good points. I agree. Personally, I always revert back. I'm using the product line myself, and I'm using all 4 products. And after the shower in the morning, I always use liquid moisturizer, and then I go to liquid to powder. The day moisturizer, and then liquid to powder, and then I'll use liquid to powder throughout the day. If I'm redonning my socket, it's so hot in Colorado right now. I've been redonning numerous times just because of perspiration, and that little bit of perspiration can break suction. And I wear Skin Fit, so we know it comes off. So anytime I'm out of it, I'm reapplying and then redonning. So good point.
Mm-hmm. And here's another good one. It's going to piggyback off one of the answers that we just had, Greg. This one will be close to home for you. It says, I've been an AK for 45 years and I have 2 issues: sores and calluses from my prosthesis rubbing on the ischial tuberosity, and rope burns from the underwear rubbing between skin and prosthesis. And the person says, I've tried moleskin, which rolls off, not being able to wear undergarments because of the burning, using antibiotic cream, and basically just having to take days or weeks off to allow these sores to heal without being able to wear the leg. Can VitalFit help with this?
Well, absolutely. So if you're an ischial containment wearer, like most transfemoral patients out there or process working with you, they're pretty intimate. They're coming out, and you're weight bearing on anatomy that's not used to that. So your activity levels go up. You're going to have more pressure on your ischium. That's just how it is. I hate to be that guy, but keeping it clean, lubricated, having a liquid to powder to break the friction, absolutely. Moleskin will not stay in those groin areas or on your ischial part of the socket. So if it's the undergarments that are interfering and breaking the skin down, because if you're wearing silkies or whatever you're wearing, I'd say go commando and don't have that interfering. It's just part of transfemoral amputation, or if, for a female patient, maybe boy shorts, something that's not going to be up in the groin area where your socket's riding. So commando, I don't know what else to say.
I know for women, we have a lot more options with undergarments, just because there's the kind that are not meant to be seen, so they have more smooth seam lines around that area. Yeah, that's always, it's a guess and check. For men, I don't know quite as many options.
Right. It's, and you could really think about it if you're going hiking or on your high activity days, that's where you're really getting the interface of your undergarment and socket breaking your skin down. Then maybe that's the day to go commando and then, move back and forth. I think, again, each patient's different. I don't want to put on Facebook Live that I go commando, but it's just, what do you got to do?
Greg, it's being recorded.
So you got to do what you got to do, right?
Make it work moment.
Right.
So this next question is, my father is a water diabetic with dry skin and irritation on the feet. Are the VitalFit products suitable for that? Yes. So basically, this product was designed by Dr. Paul Dean, the dermatologist, specifically for the needs of people who wear prosthetic devices all day and diabetics, because that makes up, what's the current percentage? 60 to 70% of the amputee limb loss community, right?
Right.
And guys, that's my number one thing. When I see someone coming into my clinic and I know that they're diabetic, and especially if I know that's why they lost their limb, the first thing I do is I check the leg that's still there. And usually there's a lot of brawny, dry skin on that lower leg, a very mottled appearance. So, the VitalFit goes on the residual limb, and it also goes on the sound leg, because we've got to protect the leg that is still there. The statistics, unfortunately, are not in the favor of diabetics and vascular patients for that second amputation. And it all starts by taking care of the process on the inside, meaning getting the diabetes under control so that the glucose isn't destroying, the tissues on the inside, but then also addressing everything from the outside and keeping that skin healthy so that you don't get nicks and cuts that can lead to more serious wounds and infections.
Right. Yeah. Huge point.
John says, "Go Commando, Greg."
Oh, I know. I just saw that pop up. Yep. Well,
there's Johnny. All right. We also.
Okay. Yeah.
Aha. Question of the year right here. How do I control odor?
Keeping it clean.
Control the bacteria. Yes. Hygiene.
Hygiene.
Yeah.
Hygiene.
Hygiene.
So yeah, washing your liners, washing your sockets, anything that's in contact with the skin, it can be a big problem, especially in the summer. As soon as you perspire in the socket, because we all know that's going on right now, and wherever you are in this country or in the world, unless you're down under and it's winter, maybe a little less. But that being said, perspiration leads to bacteria, leads to issues with odor and skin breakdown. So again, washing everything, keeping your liners clean. I know, Cozy, you talk about this all the time. It's so important to keep your skin integrity to its maximized, so you don't have odor, you don't have skin breakdown. And again, with the liquid to powder, to control perspiration is huge, because that's one, this is the question we get a lot is, how do I control odor? But perspiration is probably the biggest one I hear out there when people are on these Facebook blogs and stuff that I always follow too, like you're saying earlier, Cozy. So clean, clean, clean. Think about the most sanitary thing you can keep.
Yep.
Sterile, right?
There's a funny story I'll tell my patients. I have 4 kids, guys. I'm one of those crazy people. I have a ton of kids. And those of you who are parents know that the minute you give your kids a bath, 10 minutes later, they're going to be rolling around in the dirt again. That's just the laws of children, right? And my mother would come and go, "But why aren't these kids clean?" And I was like, "I just bathed them." I go, "At least that dirt, it's less than 24 hours old. So I know that they're okay," right? So guys, it's the same thing with taking care of your skin, right? Once every 24 hours, that residual limb needs to go into the bath or needs to go into the shower and get a good rinsing off. The wipies don't cut it. The washcloths don't cut it. It needs to be in water getting rinsed off. The wipies and all that kind of stuff, that's good for just getting you through the day. If you're out at the office, if you're in your car going from one place to the other and you need a quick fix. But you need to have water running over that. You need to have a good cleanser that's going to kill the bad stuff, but not the good stuff, right? You don't want it to be too harsh on your skin, and cleaning that liner out as well, at least once every 24 hours.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have a Cuban grandmother after you,
Yeah. No, that's a fact.
Yeah. All right.
Here's one I see. Just a simple answer. What's the shelf life on the VitalFit products? Maybe we can throw that one at Chris.
It's so nice when I have like a reason for living. The fortunate thing is the ingredients involved within the VitalFit system, they don't technically expire. So what we do is they have lot numbers. So, you're good 4 to 5 years, and we turn them. And so there's not an expiration date. And it has to do with the fact that the active ingredients don't require them, which is a good thing. So
good thing. And you can tell, because mine lasts me a long time, and you can tell, ladies, especially those of you who like the perfume lotions and stuff like that, when the lotion's gone bad, it smells like it's gone bad. And that has not been the case with the VitalFit products that I've had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can we do another giveaway?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
So super excited. We're going to go the 4-part full-size kit. The Rambo, whatever Greg was saying. We're going to go 4-part full-size kit. Jamie is going to place in the chat box the link to check out our videos, and please participate, and she will pick someone out of her small hat next to her.
Right.
Yeah, I was reading questions over here too. Sorry, I'm looking over there. My questions are over here. let's see, go to link. We'll let that one go. Do you see this question, Cozy? It says, I've been at AK for 10 years. I lost my leg, still haven't found it, as a result of a bicycle accident. I was in terrific shape at the time and in a prosthetic in less than a month. I was 55 at the time. I was still in a C leg 4 and opposed to the 3. I was able to hike, wear heels, pretty much everything I had been doing, maybe much slower awkwardly before amputation. Sorry, I can't read it. My font's too small. About 4 years ago, I got very sick, remained so far for 8 months. He's joined the living again, lost 12 pounds and needed a new socket. Since that time, I've been able to wear one pair of shoes. So he's asking, because I have serious balance issues and back issues, is there something I can do to allow me to safely wear a different brand of shoe or model of shoe? I know that's a PT question.
Yes. Sorry, whoa. Okay, my connection just went weird. Can you guys still hear me and see me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so my computer is misbehaving. Excellent. So guys, whenever
you're there,
please hold. There we go. There I am. Okay, my screen just went. Wow. All right, guys. So with shoes, it's a big thing, especially obviously more so in the female population. That women like to wear the different types of shoes. So my kind of umbrella, rule of thumb for everyone is when you're first learning how to use your prosthesis and you're getting used to it, to wear the same pair of shoes. Why? Because your alignment will be affected, right? So if you even have as much of an inch difference in your heel, and that can be as much as the sandal going to the tennis shoe, right? It's going to change your alignment and it's going to throw you off. As you become more experienced as an amputee, you're going to have a better sense of proprioception. You're going to have a better sense of where your body is in space. So then you can start playing around with different shoes, different heel heights, different types of feet, okay? When I hear someone who's having back pain or back issues, automatically what comes to mind is some form of core weakness, right? I did a big old show on core, and that's my shameless plug. Back in summer, I did a big show just on all the different parts of the human core. We have the front abdominals, we have the extensor muscles in the back, we have the diaphragm, and then we have the pelvic floor muscles, right? And all of those 4 areas have to be working together to have a strong core, to have the back support that you need, okay? And with limb loss, right, one or more of those systems is going to become imbalanced, right? And then on top of that, if you have anything with your skeletal alignment, right, if one of your pelvic bones is rotated just a little bit, right, that's going to lead to the core being imbalanced and it's going to lead to back pain, okay? So guys, this is something where I really advocate for the back pain specialists in physical therapy, for pelvic floor specialists in physical therapy. These are the experts on the human core. These are the ones that can really examine all the different parts of the core and find out where's the imbalance and how to train it up again. And for me, it's worth its weight in gold, just because how debilitating can back pain be on your quality of life, right? And you're gonna have to live with this back for the next 30, 40 years, hopefully, until the end of your lifespan. So taking good care of it, I think, should be a priority. So those are my thoughts.
No, I agree with you. It's so important. And if you change heel height, I mean, when your process set up your limb, whatever, it doesn't matter if you're a transtibial or transfemoral, it's aligned for that initial heel height. And unless you have one of the patient adjustable heel height feet, as soon as you change your heels, I mean, your gait's impaired. And just like Cozy said, it translates down the line. I mean, even if you've got a strong core and your alignment's off because you put a cowboy boot on and you're aligned prosthetically in a static fit for a tennis shoe, it's going to affect your proprioception, your ambulatory. I mean, you just won't walk well. I see it all the time. So I think there's some cool feet out there. If you really want to vary your heel heights, even for men, if you're wearing cowboy boots or work boots and trainers, then you could look into those patient adjustable heel heights. There's some really neat kind of microprocessor ankles that manufacturers say they automatically adjust. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the automatic adjustment stuff isn't always correct, but there's options out there to address it you're not stuck in one pair of shoes. So that's cool. We talk about all the technologies that are new and coming now. with Paralympics, you're going to see some cool stuff. So these type of feet are great. So
I know. Thanks, Greg. So Johnny V, thank you for participating. Super excited. I'm going to send you a 4-part kit.
Oh, Johnny.
I don't know.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm going to look at more questions here. John, anybody else can throw some questions out? Come on, John. If John's on here, you gotta have them.
I was like, Johnny, what sport are you trying out this week?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good
Every time
question.
I look at his Facebook, he's got a new sport that he's trying out. Love it.
That's good. Yeah, challenging yourself. I think that's great. Going through some questions. Almost got it out. Anybody else? Yeah, I haven't seen any other questions.
We made it through all of them. There was a lot of them there today.
Yeah. So I think we covered that there.
Okay, so guys, Jamie just posted in there a 20% off. That's a really sweet little discount there. And you've got the code there, VFSC20 at the checkout. So guys, get that one in there, screenshot that, go grab yourself some VitalFit products right there with that one.
Absolutely. It looks like everybody on, and thank you for tuning in because I recognize the names of people on right now for off and on for the last year here. So hopefully everybody's using the VitalFit. It's as a process, I can't believe how great it is for patients. And as a user, it's changed my life. So I don't know what to say, but a big thanks. So, oh, look at Johnny puts it up. Rope challenge course.
Oh my gosh.
Park City. You wearing your safety gear, buddy? Yeah, those rope courses, they're pretty good. Zip lines, and I've got a rope course story for you, John, and I might as well share it with the group since we got a little lull here. We were rope coursing up 300 feet and then zip lining down. And because I'm a pretty big guy, when I zip line down, nobody made it to the end where there's the willy bags against the tree. I hit it going like 30 miles an hour. And I don't know how it happened. I just, inertia. It's like the bowling ball theory when you a big guy and you roll him down the hill, or a light guy, but guess what happens? So
That happened to me.
Get it?
When that's funny. In 9th grade, it was the zip line, and they took us out. It was ROTC. I was in ROTC, and they took us out to Camp Bullis, the training grounds in Texas, and they had us doing the zip line, and they thought it would be funny just to let me keep going, and they didn't realize I wasn't a big guy, but right into the tree.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Good time.
You'll never forget. I'll never forget the same thing too. I'm like, okay, I'm going pretty good. There's the end.
Why is it still coming up on me? Yes. Yeah. George of the Jungle moment. Yeah.
I have no words to that. But what I can share is Jamie's going to put a link to our survey. And if you participate, because we appreciate your input, we want to make the webinars all they can be, and whatever you've got, we really appreciate that. So check it out, fill out the survey, and then we will draw a winner for a starter kit there. So thank you to everyone, Cozy and Greg. Thanks.
My pleasure. And guys, if we missed your question tonight, or if you thought of a question, because that usually is what happens, is you shut down the show and people remember the question they wanted to ask. You can find all of us pretty easily. And I know Chris is going to put up some information where you can contact folks. But any of us on social media, we're pretty easy to find. Send us your questions and we'll make sure to get you an answer.
Awesome. Yeah. And follow VitalFit on Instagram and Facebook. There's a lot of good information there, and the blogs have been great. You know what, real quick, when I put the hiker blog on 55 and older hiking club on Facebook, I'm in that club, and everybody just loves it. It's just, I'm getting a lot of neat comments and stuff. So, the VitalFit's for everybody, not just amputees or diabetic skin issues. It's for athletes like Cozy and Chris, and it works great. So thank you, guys. So I guess, Paul, you gonna put up the VitalFit and Cozy Talk Show, because I'm excited to watch Cozy Talk Show tomorrow night. So yeah, there's the discount code that was posted in the chat box, everyone. The VFSC20, so you can get 20% off, like you said, and it's only available one time. So use it, get out there and get some.
Hey, I know her.
And then I know her too. And then tomorrow night, I'm excited for on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. Is it every Wednesday? I should, on Cozy Talk Show. I'm excited for tomorrow night, Cozy. I'll be tuned in because TMR is really interesting. I personally have back issues and I'm excited to watch and watch your show. So thank you for what you do. So Chris and everybody, okay, I'm going to keep going. You girls are silent tonight.
Well, you're doing like
So you can reach out and find, you can find the information at vitalfitsr.com. And then Chris's Erbacher, thank you for everything you do. And Chris's email's on the bottom of the page. So if you want to reach out to Chris, via Chris, you can find Cozy and I. So we're here to help. And this whole year we've been doing this is really all about helping patients do better. And that's what I strive for, and I know Cozy does. So I don't want to speak for you, Cozy, but I know where your heart is. So
right on. Right on. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Okay.
Well, good.
Right.
Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for attending. Okay.
We
Send us your